When Roger rang to tell me that Mick invited me to sing the Michael Jackson song, I just screamed. I just jumped up and screamed. I felt finally, I mean, we get to really do it without our own bands, just right there. I was so excited. I've always had this thing of wanting to work with the Stones. I actually did perform with them at Winterland a few years ago, but that was standing up there with the Rolling. I was nervous, I was shaky, I was on someone else's ground. I was singing in mixed key, and this time it was like us doing it together, like a real duet, you know. What's it like standing with Mick Jagger? Are you kidding? I mean, you are talking about legend. Forget about the people that says, but Tina, you're a legend. Fine, great. I'm talking about something else now. I'm talking about my excitement to be there with Mick and to actually, we're alike in that sense. I mean, we have so much attitude. I mean, we can play off of each other, know what we are doing, and just laugh at ourselves. That is a lot of what was going on at Live Aid and any other time that Mick and I are singing together. There's a communication there that you can't touch. That's what it feels like. I met David years ago, maybe one or a few times as I played Switzerland. And we went out to dinner together, and he started talking about so many things. And I said, how do you know about so many things? He said, I never stopped studying. I took that from him, because you don't really have to go to school or have someone to tell you. You just pick up the book or whatever, and you take and you study and you learn. He's got so much knowledge in there that he really is like the man that fell to earth for me. I mean, you can't put your finger on David. I mean, he's just abstract to me. Standing there with him is another whole different power, because his power is different. Mick's power is physical and visual. David's is still and big. Do you understand? I can explain. I think when I said to him, I want you to come on the end of my show in London, and I said, this is what I'd like for you to do. It's a surprise. I said, I'd like for you to come up the stairs from the back. I said, and just standing there being golden. That was how I saw him. And when he did just that, how I envisioned, the place went crazy. It sounded like an earthquake, just like today. Because it's that still power that he has. It's that untouchable thing that David has that you can't put your finger on. Maybe that's why he's a singer, actor, stage actor, or whatever. He's got all of those elements just working there that you can't put your finger on to say what it is, you know? Again, I think that if Keith didn't look the way he looks, he wouldn't even sound as good. I think all of his entire soul, his entire being is his music and his feeling. I stood on stage with him at Winterland, and he's wearing old suede boots and his toes are coming out. The look was great from the back, because it looked like a mixture of very hip colors. Those are old clothes that Mick won't throw out. I mean, that Keith won't throw out. It's just his life is his music. It's in his hands and his fingers and coming from inside. The dressing room is the same. He's sitting there playing song after song after song before he goes on stage, yeah? What can you say about it? Each time I interview or audition a guitar player, I say, you know, like Keith Richards, I like, you know, the sound that Keith's just some kind of way that manages to come out. My favorite guitarist, I think. No, we still try to get it. We get the, you know, as close as we can get to it, but I think nobody will ever get to that. Well, that's sort of personal. Well, I think actually it's the opposite attraction for me. I find sexy men on screen more so than on stage. Maybe it's because it's my work and I know what they're doing and I know what it's about, and maybe it's because the screen is really acting. And on stage, maybe, and when you're singing, you might not be acting, but you know that those guys are really playing or being a character or something. That's the difference in how I see and how I feel about sexy men. I do believe that singing is the next line to acting, because I'm acting when I'm singing. I mean, each song is a story and I'm living it. And to me, singing, I'm acting is, then you're speaking. The difference is being still for the camera, and I've learned working the camera now. I think that's the next step if you want to stay in the business, if you want to work longer. I really do. I'd like to see a lot of the guys now, they're sort of said, well, you know, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'd like to see them do a bit of acting just to see.
A lot of them try.
Yeah, but you have to work at it. You know, it's just like it's trial and error. You got to miss with that, just like you miss with the records. I think I mean, I haven't been that successful at it. That's a hard question for me, because when I started, I had no input. I mean, it was basically done by my ex-husband, and I heard very little of what was going on with women. I just began to hear of the problems that women have. I haven't had problems, I think, because my career is more a foundation. I mean, I have performed for so long that I've earned the attention of people that would give me attention. I think for newcomers, the business is with so much competition these days that you almost have to prove yourself. Well, they don't want to give you a chance to even prove yourself. I don't think it is so much a woman's problem. I think it's everybody's problem that's trying to get into the business these days. I don't know the problem, so I can't elaborate that much. And again, I just think that the problem is because by the time there was a problem, I had been out here so long, and the problem, however, yes, there was a problem, sorry, correction. When I started out on my own to get a record deal, I don't know if it was because I was a woman. I think it was because no one knew what to do with me. Again, I don't know if this is a racial problem or not, because I can't talk about something I don't know. I can talk about things that's been discussed and what people are saying, how hard it is for women getting into different fields or whatever. But because I've been in this particular business and have mastered it in my own way, and I haven't had problems, it's hard to really discuss that with you. I rather liked it. It was mysterious and a change again. The sound was different, but still I was getting the essence of music. The first example was what I did with Let's Stay Together. And the music, I mean, when I first heard that electric sound with Martin Ware, it was like, that's incredible. And there was a lot of criticism about that music, but I do still like it a lot. Even though listening back to real music, there's a real music we're talking about out of the amplifier and the guitar thing, and that is still good, but there's something modern about it that I like, that makes it a bit fresh and new. And as the time go on, I mean, we're near the 20th century, so we're not going to stay back there with the old amplifier and the guitar, you know.
Is that music still rock and roll to you?
Not the old gut bucket rock and roll, because that was like a Chuck Berry, and all that is remembered, and that will always be taken from for the music today as a foundation. But I think it's gone further with a mixture of taking everything to make it all. Rock and roll is a music that I think, no matter what style of music is coming in, it won't go, because it's a get you going, a get me going type of music. It starts you, it gets your adrenaline going or something, you know. It's just an upper. Yeah. The heart starts pumping. It's in the blood. It's you, it's what you do, it's what you love. And when you stop loving it, you stop. That's my attitude about it. Standing off stage, just as the guys sort of running on and getting their energy up, yelling, and then when they hit the first chord and really started pumping, the heart starts going, the adrenaline starts going. It's what you love, it's what you are, it's within you, it's you. You are what you are, and you love it. And when you no longer love it, you must stop.